Guys, we have started with the introduction of the determinants. In that section we have came across how we are expanding the determinant, and we are going to get some values for the given determinant, and through how we are going to expand by the row, or how we are going to expand by the column, how we are choosing. If suppose if any row or column is consisting of any two zeros, means we are expanding it through column C1 in this example, or if it is having any other row or column with the greater number of 0, we are expanding to that row or that column. These are the things which I have came across in the introduction section of the determinant. Suppose if there is a matrix with there is no 0 at all, or some of the complex elements, not a complex number, complex element within the matrix, and we need to find the determinant value of that matrix, means there will be bit difficult on expanding it either through the row or a column. For that simplification, we have came across some of the properties regarding the determinants. So let us go with those properties one by one. Along with the example or the explanation, we are going to get clear idea with the help of that property how we are going to find the value of a given determinant. First property. So here is the first property. What does the property 1 is saying? The value of the determinant remains unchanged if its row and columns are interchanged. So let us consider one of the determinant. I have considered this determinant, and now I am going to find what is the value of this determinant. How I am going to find? Here it is 1 0, so I am expanding this determinant through the row R2. So what will be the value? Minus of minus 3, because this minus, because it is not a diagonal element. So minus of minus 3 into deleting that row and that row and that column. 2 into minus 1 minus 2, 3 3s are 9, minus 9 plus 0 minus 5. Again deleting that row and column, 3 minus 2. So it is nothing but minus into minus plus 3, 9 minus 2 minus 11 minus 5 into 1, so minus 33 minus 5, it is minus 38. So I got the value of this determinant as minus 38. Now what is that? Here they are saying by interchanging the rows and columns. So I am interchanging here the rows and column of this determinant, and I am naming that determinant, a new determinant which is obtained by interchanging the rows and column as delta 1. So how I am interchanged? The first row of this determinant has changed into the first column, second row is interchanged into second column, third row is interchanged into the third column. So now again I am going to find the value of this determinant. Again I am expanding this one through the R2. So how it becomes? Minus 2, deleting the row and column, 3 minus 5 plus 0 minus 3, again deleting the row and column, 5 plus 3 3s are 9. So it is nothing but minus 2 plus 0 minus 3, 9 plus 5, it is nothing but 14, which is equal to 4 minus 14 into 3, which is 42, which is equal to minus 38. So I got the value of the determinant delta is also equal to minus 38, and delta 1 which is obtained by interchanging the rows and columns, that one is also equal to minus 38. So I can say that here delta is equal to delta 1. So the determinant which is obtained by interchanging the rows and columns, the value of that determinant also is the same. That is what this first property is saying. The value of the determinant remains unchanged if its rows and columns are interchanged. So verification part they have done, what I have done here itself, that only they have done in the general manner. They have considered one of the determinant and named it the elements as A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3, and they expanded this determinant along the row 1, and they got the value of that determinant. After that they have interchanged the rows and columns, so that the first row A1, A2, A3 becomes first column, B1, B2, B3 the second row becomes the second column, C1, C2, C3 the third row became the third column, and they recall that interchanged determinant has delta 1 and find the value of this determinant. After that they compare the values of both the determinant delta and delta 1. After comparing they came to know that the values are same, that is delta is equal to delta 1, which you have seen with the example here. So if I am going to say the same this property in the matrix manner means, if A is a square matrix, if A is a square matrix means then the determinant value of that matrix is equal to the determinant value of the transpose of that matrix. So here it is a transpose itself, right? So I have mentioned here in the determinant manner, the transpose is going to come only in the matrix, not in the determinant. So here what I have taken the first row of the determinant delta as interchanged into the first column, second row into second column, third row into third column. So that is nothing but transpose when it comes in the matrix notation means. So that is only saying if A is a square matrix, then the determinant value of that matrix is equal to the determinant value of the transpose of that matrix. So symbolical representation of this interchanging of row and column is represented as Ri is interchanged with Ci, where a value of I is equal to 1, 2, 3, because here the property what and all we are learning, it is restricted only up to the 3 rows, that is the order 3, that is nothing but R1 is interchanged with column 1, R2 it is interchanged with the column 2, and R3 it is interchanged with the column 3. So this is regarding the first property. Now let us move with the second property. So what is that second property is saying here? If any 2 rows or 2 columns of a determinants are interchanged, then the sign of the determinant changes. So let us consider, I am considering this matrix itself, this determinant itself, and you know the value of this determinant is minus 38. Now I am considering a new determinant delta 1, which is obtained by interchanging the first row with the second row. I am interchanging row 1 and row 2. After interchanging, how this delta 1 becomes minus 3, 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, minus 1. Right? Comparing this one along with this one. You see here, for this determinant I have interchanged the 2 rows. Now I am taking the determinant value along the row R1. So what is the determinant value? Minus 3, minus 2, minus 9, plus 0, plus 5, that is nothing but 3, minus 2. So this is nothing but, so that is nothing but 38. Now you can see here, what is the value of our determinant delta? It is minus 38. What is the value of our determinant delta 1? It is 38. So just by interchanging any 2 rows, or suppose if I interchanged any 2 columns, by interchanging any 2 row or any 2 column, the new determinant delta 1 what we obtained, the value of that determinant is same, but only the sign is going to be changed. See here, this value is minus 38, this value is 38, but sign is positive. So that is nothing but delta 1 is equal to minus delta. Here what is the value of delta? It was minus 38, minus into minus plus. So value of our new determinant delta 1, which is obtained by interchanging either any 2 row or any 2 columns, we are going to get the same value, but the sign is going to get changed. So the first property, here we are interchanging the whole rows. If there are 3 rows means 3 rows are interchanged into 3 columns and 3 columns are interchanged into 3 rows. The whole matrix is going to be interchanged, but in the second, any 2 rows or any 2 columns, only either 2 rows or 2 columns are going to be get interchanged. So this is regarding the property 2. So the verification part of this property 2, they are saying the same itself. They have considered the matrix delta and they expanded this matrix along the first row and got the value of that delta. After that, they have interchanged the first row and the third row. So you can see here, this was our third row which is interchanged into first row, and this was our first row interchanged into the third row. So after interchanging, they expanded again along the first row and got the value, and that when they taken the minus sign outside, what the value was which is inside the bracket, it is nothing but the value same as delta. By comparing the 1 and 2, we came to know that this value is nothing but delta. So delta 1 is equal to minus delta, that is by interchanging any 2 rows or any 2 columns, the sign of the determinant changes. So this is regarding the verification and this property second. So now let us go with the property 3. What does the property 3 is saying? If any two rows or columns of a determinants are identical. Identical means all the corresponding elements are same. Then the value of the determinant is 0. So let us consider the one of the example. Delta I taken, it has this determinant 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. So you can see here the value of any two rows or any two columns they are saying. See here, any two rows or columns of a determinant. See here, look into the row R1 and R3. Corresponding elements. The corresponding element of this one is this one. Corresponding element of 2 is this one. Corresponding element of 3 is this one. So by comparing any two corresponding elements of the any two rows or any two columns, if they are same, identical means here it is also 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. So if they are same means then the determinant value delta is equal to 0. That is the determinant value of that matrix is equal to 0. So that is what they are saying here. When it is identical, then the value of determinant is 0. Okay, how we are proving this one? How we are proving this one? So I considered the value, one of the determinant, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. Let it, okay, not here also I will call it as A, B, C itself. I need to prove the identically, right? So you can see here our row 1 and row 3 are identical. Okay, now I will interchange R1 with R3. I will interchange R1 with R3. After interchanging R1 with R3, what is the value of this one? What will be determinant becomes? It is same, right? This was our new delta 1 which is obtained by interchanging the two rows. So by looking here itself you can say that delta and delta 1 are looking the same. But by property 2 which we came across just now, what does the property 2 is saying? The value of the determinant, it gets changed, the sign gets changed when any two rows or any two columns get interchanged. That is delta 1 is equal to minus time of delta. But here you can, by looking into this, you can say that delta is equal to delta 1. So I will replace this delta 1 by delta which is equal to minus delta. When it comes to the LHS, 2 delta is equal to 0. This implies determinant value is equal to 0. So this is a proof regarding the property 3 which you can see here in the verbal manner. That is, by interchanging the identical rows, our determinants remains as it is, or it does not change. You can see here that only I have written, by interchanging any two rows, the determinants remains as it is. So that what that implies, delta is equal to delta 1. Delta is equal to delta 1 because it is not looking all the elements. If you compare each and every corresponding elements, all are same. So delta is equal to delta 1. But by the property to know, we know that delta is equal to minus times of delta 1. That is what I have written here. After doing all the procedure, we get the value of determinant is equal to 0. So this is regarding the property 3. So you can see here one of the example they have said to evaluate you this one. So by looking here you can see that 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3 and 3, 2, 3. So the R1 and R3 are identical. By looking itself, you can say since R1 and R3 are identical, the value of determinant is equal to 0. Even though if you take a risk of expanding this one, even after expanding you will get the value of determinant is equal to 0. So in this case, by looking into the determinant, if you observe that these two are identical means, instead of expanding, you can directly write delta is equal to 0 because row 1 and row 3 are identical. That's all. This expansion work, it remains, it will be save your time. That is how the properties are used. So here it is our property 4. If each element of a row or a column of a determinant, it is multiplied by a constant k, then its value gets multiplied by k. So now let us consider here the determinant. They are saying determinant delta is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Let us find what is the value of this determinant. I am expanding it through the first row. A, EI minus HF minus B di minus GF plus C dH minus EG. So this is the value of the determinant delta. Okay. If I multiply any scalar, I call that scalar 2. If 2 is multiplied to this determinant means then 2 is multiplied to either any one of the row or one of the column. It might be any row or any column. It might be to the any row or any column. Then the value of the determinant remains same. No, not same. Then the value of the determinant becomes k times the determinant of determinant value of that delta. See here, don't get confused with the determinant and the matrix concept. See, in matrix, if I call A is equal to ABCD and if I multiply a scalar 2 to the matrix A means then this matrix becomes 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. So that means if I am multiplying any scalar means that is multiplied to each and every element of the matrix. At that time, we are going to get this matrix. But when it comes to the determinants, if I am multiplying any scalar means then that scalar is multiplied to any one of the row or any one of the column. Suppose if I am multiplying this 2 to the first row, that is 2A, 2B and 2C. Now I will expand the value, expand this determinant 2 delta, that is 2A. What is EI minus HF minus 2B di minus GH plus 2C dH minus EG. Yes. So this is the value of this determinant. So look, there are 3 elements or the 3 component in this expression. So I will remove 2 common from that one. After removing 2, what I got? EF minus B di minus GH plus C dH minus EG. This is nothing but our determinant delta, right? You can compare here, that is 2 times delta. So that is what they are saying. If we are multiplying any scalar k to the determinant, then the value of that determinant is nothing but k times that of the previous determinant. Okay, suppose if I go in the reverse manner, suppose if there is a determinant 2A, 2B, 2C, D, E, F, G, H, I means then we can take a common outside from any one of the row or any one of the column. You can see here 2 is common in this row, so I can take 2 common outside and that determinants become A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. But in the matrix, if we needed to take a common outside from a matrix means then it should be taken from it in the matrix, it should be taken from each and every element. Suppose if I needed to take a common from this one means the 2 is taken outside from even from the first row as well as from the second row, that is it is to be taken from each and every element. But here if I need to take common outside means either it can be taken from any one of the row or any one of the column if there is any common element only. Okay, so it is clear that if we are multiplying any scalar k to the determinant means then the value of that determinant becomes k times that of the determinant value. If we multiplied k to the any one of the row or column, then the value of determinant becomes k times the determinant. So you can see here the verification part. We have considered one of the determinant A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, A3, B3, C3, and they are calling and they are we are obtaining a new determinant delta. By how we are obtaining this delta? We are obtaining this delta by multiplying some scalar, that is k to the first row. By multiplying k, now we got something different determinants, that is delta 1. Now I am expanding this determinant along the first row. After expanding, what I got here, it is nothing but delta 1 is equal to k times the delta. You can observe here, after expanding this delta, you are going to get a clear the delta value. that is nothing but a1, b2, b3, b3, c2, which can be seen now by direct observation itself, so I didn't expand it here. So you can clearly observe here delta 1 is equal to k times the delta. Hence I can write that k times, that is multiplied k, which is to the each and every element, that is nothing but k times the determinant. Okay, so that is what here and the here it is they are saying. So we can observe some of the note or facts which we can see in this property 4 is, if there is any determinant like this, and you can see here there is some common factor or common multiples in this row R3, that is k, which you can see has a common thing. So if there is any common element or a common multiple or a factor in any one of the row or any one of the column, we can take that common factor outside and we can write that determinant as a, b, c, d, e, f, a1, a2, a3, that k which is taken outside I can write it here. Okay, we can take that common outside, that is nothing but the reverse process of this property 4 we are talking here. Okay, we can take that common outside. Suppose if you saw any proportionality between any two row or column, so if you see here row 1 and row 3, you can see the proportionality, that is a by ka means 1 by k, even for the second row it is also 1 by k, third element even, that is also 1 by k. You can see here proportionality, right? If there is any proportionality between any two rows or any two columns, mean then the value of the determinant is equal to 0. I can prove this one with the help of property 3. See here there is a determinant a, b, c, d, e, f, k times a, k times b, k times c. So by the property 4, what I can write, I can say take this common k outside, because k is a common multiple in the third row, so I can take k common outside. So that becomes then a, b, c, d, e, f, a, b, c. Okay, now look into this determinant. R1 and R3 are identical. R1 and R3 are identical. If any two rows or two columns are identical, means we know that the value of that determinant is equal to 0. So the value of this determinant becomes 0. K times 0 is equal to 0. So that is what they are saying. If any two rows or any two columns are proportional, if they are proportional or their ratio is same, then the value of that determinant is equal to 0. So you can see here one of the example regarding that one. 102, 18, 36, 134, 17, 3, 6. Now look here, R1 and the row R3. Here you can see that there is a proportionality among these two rows, because 6 into 17 is 102, 6 into 3 is 18, 6 into 6 is 36. So 6 is a common factor in this one, so I can take that 6 common outside. After taking that 6, according to the property 4, there is a 6 common, so I can, in the one row I remove that 6 outside. After removing 6, what I got, 17, 3, 6, 1, 3, 4, 17, 3, 6. So you can observe here the first row and third row are identical. So when there is two identical, means the value of determinant is equal to 0. Thus the value of this determinant is equal to 0. So this is regarding the property 4. So the next is property 5. What is the property 5 is saying? If sum or all the elements of a row or column of a determinants are expressed as a sum of two or more terms, then the determinant can be expressed as the sum of two or more. So look here, the first part of the statement, what they are saying, if sum or all the element, if we consider any row or any column, means if all the element of that one row or some of the element of that one row, if it is expressed as the sum of two or more terms, like this. For example, here I consider one of the determinant. So in that first row it is expressed as sum of the two terms, right? So it can be expressed, each term of the first row can be expressed as sum of the two terms, or at least these two terms as expressed as sum of the two terms, and this one is remained as it is, like A3. Suppose if it is in this manner, means then what they are saying, then the determinant can be expressed as sum of two or more determinants. Then if the determinant is in this manner means then it can be expressed as sum of two or more determinants. How it is that sum of two or more determinants? I am considering here first element of all the first element of that first row, a1, a2, a3, and the remaining element as it is b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. And in the second matrix plus second matrix, I am taking the second element of that sum, that is lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. Okay, so this is how what the statement is saying, that is if any row or any column, it is expressed as sum of two or more. Suppose if I take here a1 lambda 1 and p lambda 2 q plus r means, then even along with this there will be another plus p q r b1 b2 b3 c1 c2 c3. That is they are saying two or more. If any row or a column it is expressed as sum of two or more terms means, then this determinant can be expressed as sum of two or more determinants in this manner. Suppose as I said here in the beginning itself they have said if some or all the elements, suppose here we have considered all the element of row 1 has lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3. Suppose here if it was not like this, only two terms of the first row is expressed as sum of the two terms, then how it becomes lambda 1, lambda 2, instead of lambda 3 we are writing it as 0. Okay, that is how it is going to be. Okay, this is what the property 5 is saying. Now suppose if I consider like this type of determinant, and if you think like this determinant can be expressed as in this manner means, then it is wrong. See here they have said the any element can be expressed as sum of two or more elements to either a row or a column. So that's why I have mentioned here a row or a column of a determinant. So this is applicable if a term of any row or any column is expressed as sum of two or more terms means, then this one is applicable. But if whole matrix is of this form, then please don't write this matrix in this manner. This is wrong. When matrix is not a matrix, in determinant don't express in this manner. Suppose if it is a matrix means, then you can express that matrix as in this manner. But if it is a determinant means it is wrong. If it is a matrix means, then you can express this matrix as sum of two or more like this one terms, but it is a determinant means expressing in this manner is a wrong. So make note of this one. So in the verification part of this property 5, you can see here they have expressed like this, and here we have considered the LHS and expanded it along the row 1. So after expanding this element along the row 1, we have rearranged here. See how we are making that rearrangement means, you can see here a1 plus lambda 1. So this a1 it is multiplied to this element, a2 is multiplied to this element, a3 is multiplied to this element, and this one is kept one side. Second one lambda is multiplied to this element, minus lambda 2 is multiplied to this element, plus lambda 3 is multiplied to this element, and they are kept aside. So here the multiplication you can see in that manner itself. So after that one, you can express the first half of the expression as nothing but the determinant a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3, and the second half of the expansion as nothing but lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, b1, b2, b3, c1, c2, c3. So this is nothing but our RHS. So according to the property 5, we have expressed the sum of any row or a column which is expressed in sum of two or more terms means, then the determinant can be expressed as sum of two determinants. So this is regarding the property 5. Here you can see one of the example. They have asked you to show that this value of determinant is equal to 0. So let us take the LHS. So in LHS you can see that the second row is expressed as sum of two terms. So I am expressing according to the property 5, I am expressing this determinant as sum of the two determinants. So you can see here I expressed as sum of the two determinants. So observe in the first determinant, the first row and the second row are identical. According to the property 3, I can say that the value of this determinant is equal to 0. Now consider the second determinant. Here in the second row you can see that the 2 is a common factor in the second row. So I can take that 2 common outside. After taking the 2 common outside, you can observe properly here that the second row and the third row are identical because the corresponding element of the second and third row are the same. So the value of the second determinants, by the property 3 we can say that the value of this determinant is also equal to 0. Thus 0 plus 0 is 0. So we have shown that the value of this determinant is equal to 0. So this is how we are using the property 5 to get the value of the determinant without expanding. You can see here, right, I didn't expanded this either to the first row or first column. We have just used the properties and got the value of determinant as equal to 0. So here it is a last property, that is the property 6. What is that is saying? If to each elements of any row or column of a determinant, the equi-multiples of the corresponding elements of the row or a column are added, then the value of the determinant remains the same. That is, the value of the determinant remains same if we apply the operation Ri implies Ri plus K times Rj or Ci implies C times Kj. So this is like if we have any determinant called delta. You can see here the determinant delta, which is A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3 and C1, C2, C3. So I am considering the delta 1 as another determinant which is obtained by applying a row operation, that is R1 plus K times the R3. So we need to apply here a row operation in this manner. That is what they are saying. If to each element of any row, here any row is R1, here any row is R1, any row or a column of a determinant, the equi-multiples of the corresponding elements of a row or a column are added. So that is what they are saying. If we consider any one of the row called R1, say R1, for this row R1, if we are adding to that row R1, we are adding the equi-multiple of a corresponding row. Means if I am considering a row R1, means we need to add some corresponding multiples times the another row, that is R3, or R1 plus K times R2. In this manner, if we are doing some row operation, and this after during the applying this row operation, we are going to get a new row, that is after applying this row operation, then the value of that determinant and this determinants are the same. So that is what they are saying. So you can observe the verification part, you will get a clear idea. So you know the determinant value of this one. So I am expanding this one. So by the property 5 we can expand, I can express this one as A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3, and this one as KC1, KC2, KC3, like this we can express. After that, here it is a common multiple in the first row, that is K. I can take that K common outside, that time it becomes C1, C2, C3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, C3. You can see here the row 1 and row 3 are identical. By the property 3, what we can say, the value of this determinant is equal to 0. So delta 1 is equal to delta. So by applying like this type of row operation, we can say that the determinant value does not changes, it retains as it is. So we can apply the row operations like R1 implies R1 plus K times R2, or C1 implies C1 plus K times C3. Like this type of operation is okay, but we can't apply the row operation like R1 implies K times R1 or C1 implies K times C2, because we know that if we multiply any scalar to a row, means then the value of the determinant becomes what? then the value of the determinant become k times the determinant delta 1 which is obtained. This delta 1 is nothing but the determinant which is obtained by multiplying any scalar to the determinant. So this is what we have studied in the property 4. So we can't use like this type of operation for doing the here to get a value of a determinant, but we can use like this type, that is r1 plus k times r3 or c1 plus k times of r3. That is what here note is saying, that if delta 1 is a determinant obtained by applying like this type of operation, that is ri plus k times of ri or ci implies k times of ci, means then the determinant value becomes what? K times the determinant of the given determinant. So like this type of operation we can't use to solve the problem, but we can use like this. But you can make one note here, one note thing you can see here, that is nothing but in your matrix, if you are when you are used to find the inverse of a matrix, means there you used either a row operation or column operation. If you are doing row operation, means to get the inverse, the whole process you used only the row operations. If you are using a column operation, means to get the inverse for the whole process you are using the column operation itself. But in the case of determinants, if you apply first time the row operation, after certain times if you use a column operation is okay. There is no restriction that we are using only the row operation to get the value or only the column operation. No, there is no restriction like this in case of determinant. You can use either a row operation in the first step, in the second step you can use a column operation to get the value of determinant. So there is no restriction like we need to use row only or a column only in the determinant section. So make note of this one. So now let us solve some of the problems based on by using some of the properties or like that. So the first question, what they are saying, prove that value of this determinant is equal to what? AQ. So if you look like this, if you go with the expansion of this one, means it is a very huge process and it is consuming your more than half an hour to get a value of this one. So we have some of the properties now. So let us go with the property. So how we are using the properties to get the determinants? See, one thing, make a note that we can get a determinant value in the easier way by making some of the row elements, means either making a row or a column element of any one of the row as equal to 0 or a column as equal to 0. That means if there is a matrix, if I am making any two rows of a first row as equal to 0 or any two column two element of one column as equal to 0, means after that if we do any two elements of the first row as equal to 0, means then we can expand it along the R1. So expansion will become easier. So I am using the same trick here, so but by using some of the row operation. So what is that row operation? By the property 6. Property 6, what I am doing here is I am making the second element of the first column and third element of the first column as equal to 0. How I am making it as equal to 0? By applying some of the row operation. How? That is R2 implies R2 minus 2 times of R1, and the second row operation is this one to make it 0. I am making it simultaneously, so you must be cautious when solving the second row and second column, second row and third row. Okay, and using the third row, what? That is nothing but R3 implies R3 minus 3 times of R1. So after using these two row operation, our matrix becomes, see, first row remains as it is because there is no changes in the first row. But when it comes to the second row, 2a minus 2 times of a is 0. Again here, this row R2 minus 2 times of R1, 3a minus 2a becomes a, 2b minus 2b becomes 0. Similarly here, second row R2 minus 2 times of R1, 4a minus 2a is 2a, 3b minus 2b is b, 2c minus 2c is 0. And now the third row operation, what was that third row operation? R3 minus 3 times of R1, 3a minus 3 times of a, it was 0, 6a minus 3a, 3a, 3b minus 3b is equal to 0, 10a minus 3a is 7a, 6b minus 3b is 3b, 3c minus 3c is 0. So you got one of the determinant here. So the determinant remains as it is, because by applying these type of row operations there will be no changes in the determinant value. Now again I am applying, either you can expand here itself. Since there are some of the complicated elements like this, I am doing what? I am making even this element as equal to 0 by applying some row operation. So after getting even this element is also equal to 0, now I am expanding this one along the column C1. While expanding this one along the column C1, A into deleting the row and the column, what I am going to get? A into A, it is nothing but A square. Since here it is 0, even I get this element as equal to 0. Suppose if you apply here itself only the row operation, there is not a big deal, but the thing is that even you need to solve a into 7a plus 3b, and even you need to solve this one. Even this computation becomes bit lengthier, so I made even this term as equal to 0. At that time computation becomes bit easier. So at that time what it happens? A into a square minus 0, remaining these two are equal to plus 0 plus 0. Multiplying, I get the value of determinant as equal to a cube. That is what we need to show. This is how we are going to solve the problem. So here there is a next question, what they are saying, without expanding. See here, after applying some row operation here, at the last I have expanded here. Okay, at the last, this is not I used here any property, I have expanded here, but here they have didn't mentioned without expanding or like that, they have didn't at all mentioned in this question. But in this question they are mentioning what? Without expanding, prove that. We need to prove this determinant is equal to 0 without expanding. That means there is no need of expanding in any of the step. So we need to prove in that manner. How we can prove? See here, observe properly that here are some of the elements. Suppose if you use here property 5, that is x, y, z, z, x, y, 1, 1, 1, again like that, we are not going to get any identical elements here, right? We are not going to get any identical elements. So what I think here was, I add these two rows. Okay, after adding this two row, I am going to get, adding R1 implies R1 plus R2. After making this row operation, what I am going to get? X plus y plus z, x plus y plus z, x plus y plus z, and second row and third row remains as it is. You can observe here, R1 and R3 are proportional, right? Proportional means the ratio of R1 and R3 are same. Or else you can also think in the manner that if we take x1, x plus y plus z as common outside, because here all the three are common, right? If I take whole x plus y plus z common outside, what is the remaining here? 1, 1, 1. At that time R1 and R3 are identical. So when there is an identical means the value of determinant is equal to 0. Or if you don't need to take that common outside and you need to say that this one as identical, even it takes one step longer, means by looking here itself you can say that R1 and R3 are proportional. These two rows are proportional. So when the two rows are proportional means then the determinant is equal to 0. This is also what I have mentioned earlier. So value of determinant is equal to 0. So here is the next question. We need to evaluate this one. Again here they have didn't mention without expanding or like that, they have not mentioned. So I am going with the solving of this problem. So here they have given this matrix. I am going with first itself with the row operation, that is R2 minus R1. R2 the whole row is minus R1 and R3 minus R1. You can ask me how we are come to know we need to use this type of operation. I can't say how we can use this type of operation, how we are going to come to know. It is purely by the practice. If you try to solve any of the problems by doing it by self without copying from other, you will get to know with some of the better ideas. Oh, if we do this operation means we are going to get this answer, or if we else do this operations means we do get this answer. It is comes purely by the practice, not by doing any other. So now let us follow with this row operation, that is R2 implies R2 minus R1. So what is it becomes? Okay, the main reason for applying these two operation here, what I thought and used this operation in this one means I am making these two elements as equal to 0. So once this becomes 0, as I said, I can expand it along the row 1 and we are going to get a simple calculation. That is the idea what I used here. Okay, so R2 minus R1, at that time this becomes 0, B minus A. Here C is common, so A minus B it becomes. And again for the third row it becomes 0, C minus A, and here again B is common, A minus C it becomes. So now this is what the determinant which we have got. After that you can see here we are having B minus A and here we are having A minus B. I can take A minus B common outside. If I take A minus B common outside, what is remaining here? Here it is remaining minus 1. Here also it is, if I take A minus C common outside, means here it is remaining minus 1. Suppose if I take B minus A common outside, means here it is remaining minus 1. If I take C minus A common outside, means here it is remaining minus 1. So I took B minus A and C minus A has here from this row. I took B minus A common from, because here it is 0, there is no need of thinking of this one, but here there is common factor. So I took B minus A as common from whole this row, and from this row I took C minus A as a common factor. After taking B minus A common and C minus A common, what it becomes? B minus A, C minus A. After that, this is what the matrix is going to, not matrix, determinants is going to look in this manner. Now I am expanding. You can even make another row operation and make this one as also equal to 0. Since here all these 4 elements are simpler way when we are expanding it to R1. So I am not making this one as equal to 0. I am directly going with the expansion. So after expanding, what I am going to get here? Minus B, minus into minus, plus C. So C minus B what I am got here. So after that, in the simpler way, what I did, I took minus common outside from this element. After taking minus, what does this element becomes? A minus B. After that, from this even I took again minus common outside. At that time it becomes B minus C. So from here minus, from here also minus. Minus into minus, plus. This one remained as it is, so like this. So don't think that here it was minus B plus C, here become minus C, nothing, but here also I took minus 1 common, here also I took minus 1 common. So minus into minus, plus. That's all it has happened here. Okay, let's proceed for the next one. They are asking you to prove this determinant value is equal to 4ABC. So again, the thinking is, what is the operation which we can deal with? You can see here what is the thing which we can apply so that any one of the row or column becomes 0. So I use this row operation, that is R1 minus R2 minus R3. So at that time B plus C minus B minus C, at that time this element becomes 0. So after that I got this element as equal to 0 and rest of the 2 elements is solved according to this one. After that, when we think about this one, there is no other simpler way we can make some of the other element as equal to 0. So I went with the row operation as not expansion of determinant at this stage itself. So here I made a expansion along the row 1. After expansion we got a matrix in this expansion of the determinant in this manner. After simplification of all those things, I got the answer of that value of the determinant is equal to 4ABC, which we needed to prove. Now let us go with the next question. If x, y, z are different, means the value of x, y and z are not equal to, so that is not x is equal to y or y is equal to z. All the 3 values of x, y, z are different. That is what they are saying. And the value of this determinant is equal to 0 means then 1 plus x, y, z is equal to 0. So we need to show that 1 plus x, y, z is equal to 0 when value of this determinant is equal to 0. So let us consider the given thing. What they have given, that is delta, this determinant is equal to this one. So by looking into this determinant, what is the first idea which comes into our mind? According to the property 5, we can split this one into 2 determinants. So I splitted the determinants into the 2 determinant value. Okay, after splitting into this 2 determinants, what is the first thing I did here was I interchanged this column C3 with the C1. So after interchanging C3 with C1, what was the determinant? So what I did here first was I first interchanged column C1 with C3. So after changing column C1 with C3, what does it happen? C1 becomes C3, that is 1 1 1. This x square, y square, z square remains as it is, and the third column becomes x y z. So we know that by interchanging the values, by interchanging any two rows or columns, the determinant sign changes. So by applying this one row column operation, the value of determinant becomes was, here it was plus, means this one is equal to minus times of this one. Now again what I am doing to this determinant is I am again changing the two rows, that is C3 is interchanged with C2. So after changing C3 into C2, what does it becomes? 1 1 1 as it is. C3 is interchanged with C2, means this one becomes C2. So x y z, x square, y square, z square. So again here there was a change in the any two rows or columns, means here and changes in the any two columns we have seen here. So by that what can I say here again? The symbol, I mean the sign, not symbol, the sign of the determinant changes. So here it was minus, again minus of minus is nothing but plus. So by simultaneously using two interchanging of any two rows or any two columns, means two times we use, means the symbol or the sign remains as it is. So what I did here is I used first C1 is interchanged with the C2 and C2 is interchanged with the C3. So I have showed you the whole procedure. I did it simultaneously here. At that time I am going to get this determinant, and I used minus 1 to the power 2. Why I used square here? Because minus 1 is common, because every time when we are changing the sign gets changed, but here we are used two times, so I used 2. Suppose if I again use another interchanging of any two rows or columns, at that time I used here 3 here, like this. So minus 1 square is nothing but plus 1 itself, so I got this one as 2 determinants. Now you can observe properly here that in the first row there is x is common, in the second row y is common, in the third row z is common. So from first row I will take x common outside, from second row I will take y common outside, and from third row I will take z common outside. Now you can see the determinant in this manner. So this determinant and this determinants are same. So I will take this determinant common outside. What is remaining? 1 plus xyz into the 1x x square, 1 y square, 1 z square. I got this determinant. Now I will simplify this determinant in the common manner, that I will make this 2 as equal to 0 by using these two row operation. So now applying that to row operation, I made these two elements as equal to 0. Now as usual you can see here this is y minus x, and here it is y square minus x square, and we know the identity y square minus x square, it is nothing but y plus x into y minus x, identity. And even this one is also nothing but z plus x into z minus x. Now you can see here properly that here is y minus x, even here also we are having y minus x. From the row 2 I can take y minus x factor common outside, and from the third row I can take z minus x factor common outside. So after taking y minus x and z minus x along with the 1 plus xyz common outside here, what is the determinant here? This is the determinant which we have obtained here. Now I will make the expand this one along the column C1, because here it is having 2 0, so I am expanding it along the column C1. After expansion I got the value of this determinant delta is equal to 1 plus xyz into y minus x, z minus x and z minus y. What is the given in the question? You can see here in the question itself they have given the value of determinant delta is equal to 0. So we know that the LHS is equal, the value of this one is equal to 0. That is what we know that. But if you see here, it is in the multiplication form. Suppose if there is any real number xyz or some many terms as xyz is equal to 0, means according to your multiplication knowledge what you will say, either x is equal to 0 or y is equal to 0 or z is equal to 0. In this case only we are going to get the product is equal to 0. This is the basic idea which we all know. So now using the same ideology here also, here it is in the multiplication form. Now this one is equal to 0 implies either this one is equal to 0 or this one is equal to 0 or this term is equal to 0 or this term is equal to 0. Suppose if I take y minus x is equal to 0 means what does that implies? Y is equal to x. Suppose if I take z minus x is equal to 0 means what does that imply? Z is equal to x. Suppose if I take z minus y is equal to 0 means what does that imply? Z is equal to y. But you can see in the question itself what they have said, x, y, z are different, means the value of x, y, z are not equal to any one of them, all the three of them are different. So suppose if I take y minus x or z minus x or z minus y has equal to 0 means it will show this one which is contradiction to the given thing. So this one is not equal to 0. So what is the remaining thing then? So when these three cannot be equal to 0 means it directly implies that 1 plus xyz is equal to 0. So if 1 plus xyz is equal to 0 means what we needed to prove here, that itself, right? If determinant value is equal to 0 means 1 plus xyz is equal to 0. So thus we have showed the proved the given thing. Now so here is this one of the question. We need to show that the value of this determinant is equal to ABC of 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C, or this one is equal to ABC plus BC plus CA plus AB. So even the questions, the same question can be asked with the RHS as equal to this element or RHS as equal to this element. So don't get confused, the both are one and the same, and this is one of the important question. So what is the first thing what I am doing here to solve this one is I am taking A, B and C common from. A is taking common outside from the first row and B is taking common outside from the second row and C is taking common outside from the third row. So by taking that common outside, how does this determinant becomes? So from the first element, if I take A common outside means, what is 1 becomes 1 by A plus 1, right? If I multiply A means A by A 1 plus 1 by A, 1 by A not, plus A into 1 is A, so 1 plus A. So if I take A common outside means this becomes 1 by A plus 1. So that is nothing but 1 by A plus 1. From this one if I take A means it is 1 by A. 1 by A. Similarly here 1 by B. 1 by B plus 1. 1 by B. 1 by C. 1 by C. 1 by C plus 1. What was taken? Common A from the first row, B from the second row and C from the third row. After this one, I will use one of the row operation, that is nothing but R1 implies R1 plus R2 plus R3. Why I am using this row operation? Because you see here in the RHS, look what we needed. 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. If I do R1 implies R1 plus R2 plus R3 becomes, we are going to get this term. So I used that row operation. So ABC is common outside. The first row becomes 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. Even the second row also becomes 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. Even the same for third row, 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. The second and third row remains as it is, 1 by B, 1 by C, 1 by C, 1 plus 1 by C. Now you can see here in the first row 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C is common. So I am taking that common fact. So I took that one has common outside, that is 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. After taking that common outside, what is the thing remaining? 1 by B, 1 by C, 1 plus 1 by B, 1 by C, 1 by B, 1 plus 1 by C. Now I need to solve this determinant. See here again it is bit difficult if we go with the multiplication. So the what is the common thing I usually used to do is making any row or any two elements of any row or column as equal to 0. Since here it is 1 1, I will use, see here I used here row operation, now I am using here column operation. That is what I said, there is no restriction is whether we need to follow the row operation only or column operation only. Here I used row, now I am using the column operation. What is that column operation? I am making this one as equal to 0. So how I am going to make that one as equal to 0? As usual, C2 implies C2 minus C1 and C3 implies C3 minus C1. So what is it becomes? ABC 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C times 1 by B 1 by C as it is, because there is no change in the first row. This becomes 0. 1 plus 1 by B minus 1 by B becomes 1. 1 by C minus 1 by C 0. This one now C3 minus C1, 1 minus 1 0. 1 by B minus 1 by B, again it is 0, and 1 plus 1 by C minus 1 by C is 1 by C get cancels 1. So now I got this determinant. Now we are having, see here, this R1 is having 2 zeros, C3 is having 2 zeros. You can expand in any one of the way. I am expanding it along the row 1. So after expanding it along row 1, what I am going to get? This one as it is along row 1, you see here, this is 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 is 1 itself. So value of determinants, that is delta, is equal to ABC 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C. So this one is proved. How we are going to get this one? Just multiply ABC to inside this bracket. After multiplying, what we are going to get? ABC. ABC is multiplied here. AA get cancels. BC. Multiplying to this term, BB get cancels. AC. Multiplying this term, CC get cancels. AB. This is how we are going to get the this second one. If the question might be either asked with the RHS as equal to this one or a RHS as equal to this one. This is how we are solving. This is regarding the properties and some of the problems on based upon that one. So the exercise part of this section you can try it, and I am going to solve those exercise problem in the next section. This is all regarding the properties. Thank you.